Hello beautiful people, this is Vlad from Synaptic Schism, and this is another deconstruction, a video where I review and then deconstruct the technical aspects that lead me to love a piece of music. Today's music is called Adrenaline Fire, and it was released on the 27th of May 2024, which, if you live in the United States, you probably know that it was Memorial Day. This song was released under Chronic Ion, which is a Bandcamp artist page from James Slattery, I believe that's his name. I hope I'm not butchering, man. And it is a collab between James and John Serrano, who is one of my favorite musicians of all time. On the next day, I listened to the music and I shared John's tweet saying, "My definition of a perfect piece of music is any sound aesthetic that includes purposeful and emotional use of dynamics and complexity." So what I want to do today is to explain what does that mean using the only indie song that I know that I consider to be perfect. I'm going to go through each of the parts of the song, let you know what's going on there, and then explain what does that mean in terms of the song being perfect, okay? So to start, this song has got 9 different parts. It has got a start and an intro, which we are just going to completely ignore because it's not relevant for the discussion. Then the song has a verse, which is this.
In the realm of my third eye, I'm surrounded by a vision.
So the verse is about being conscious of the present. The person singing, the actor in this song, knows where he is and he knows what's going to happen. Now, if you listen to the music, you will see that it's pretty dark. It's quite heavy, and there's an interesting bass line going on.
In the realm of my third eye, I'm surrounded by a vision. Standing high across.
The verse part happens again in the future, but the lyrics are a lot darker. The first verse is about the present, the now, before going into war, and the second one is about the present, the now, while in battle, okay? The second part is the chorus, and the chorus, the man in this situation anticipates combat, anticipates death, and that the enemies are waiting, things like that. And there is more instrumentation, so there's quite a bit. There's a different level of complexity. There's like a stringy pad that appears in the verse that in the chorus is substituted by a lead guitar with that it's more intricate. So the chorus sounds like this.
My mind's erased, my body shakes, the world is on my back. The enemy awaits, whatever it takes. Prepare to attack.
And then after the chorus we have an instrumental, and as you can imagine, an instrumental doesn't have lyrics, but it has a ton of effects, battle effects, machine guns, people screaming, explosions, stuff like that. So the instrumental goes like this. And you can see that there's a lot of question and answer kind of stuff. And then just chaos everywhere from the sound effects, right? And in the end, we have the outro. And the outro, everything is toned down, and it's about the past. It's an introspection about what is going on, or what happened, what is my current state following what happened.
When all is said and done, the world moves on. I am
And what you can see here is that the lyrics
shades are drowned.
are very sad, and the instrumental is eerie, creepy.
Screams for the rest of.
So yeah, in a nutshell, this is what the song is. What I want to discuss is, what does this have to do with a perfect song. If you think about the dynamics of the track, you will see that verse 1
I'm surrounded by a vision.
and then chorus have very similar dynamics. And the instrumental apparently has more, but it doesn't really. It's just the effects that give that effect. But then the outro
When all is said and done,
much lower on dynamics.
world moves on. I am numb to any form, and the shades are drowned.
So being conscious of where he is and then anticipating and then going into battle, the dynamics go a lot higher. But then when thinking about the past, everything is personal and it's an introspection, right? So everything gets really toned down. However, if we now think in terms of complexity, what we have is that complexity grows up to the instrumental, goes back to the verse, and then it goes back in the outro, but not as much. It's less complex given the number of elements, but the elements that stay there are very complex, so the complexity is not completely removed. So if we check the verse,
In the realm of my third eye, I'm surrounded.
we only have like these strings with
Standing high across the sky.
the rhythm section. Then in the chorus, it's quite a bit more complex.
My body shakes.
There's this lead guitar,
My back. The enemy awaits.
what the bass is doing is different. But then when we go to the instrumental, all hell breaks loose. This is just chaos, right? And then when we go to the outro,
The world moves.
come on, that piano is everything.
I am
but not
to
complex.
any form, and the shades are drowned.
That is a crazy thing going on there.
I hear those deafening screams.
And now when we think of everything put together, the different states of mind of the subject here, and what's going on, either what's going on now, what he expects to happen in the future, the war itself, and then thinking about it, we have something like this, which I find very interesting to say the least, which is this undulating thing between dynamics and complexity that help to tell the story. And every time I find a song that does this, or an instrumental, it just so happens that I've never found an instrumental that does this. I find that it is a perfect piece of music. That's what I think about it. And I believe that this is that. It's a perfect piece of music. One of the three that I know of. Just in case you're curious, the other one is Can't Be by Moonspell and My Way by Frank Sinatra. So check those two out and you'll find similar things to what's here. Now, a word of warning about all of this. This is a perfect song to me. It might not be to you. You may have another way of thinking about music and songwriting that doesn't fit what I believe it's to be the perfect music. Also, I said that it's the purposeful. Purposeful implies, I'm implying that that's what James and John were thinking about when they did this. I don't know, but I'm also not putting myself inside their head. It's how I experience the music. It's purposeful to my interpretation of it. I have no idea if John and James did that, okay? However, we all have a personal relationship with the music that we are listening to. And I try really hard, for instance, in my music to have this kind of dynamics and complexity going back and forth depending on the story that I'm telling. So keep in mind that purposeful doesn't necessarily mean that you know or expect that this was the intention of the people writing the piece of music. What I'm saying is that it is perceived by me as something that it is purposeful. Okay? Keep that in mind because we never know what's inside their heads. And I write all of this stuff without asking the artists anything, exactly because I want this to be my interpretation of the music that they made available for us. So when you're writing a song or an instrumental, keep this in mind, that the way that you use complexity and also how dynamics change over the course of the track, the song, have a big impact on how that piece of music is perceived. Even if it's not as well thought as I'm making it now, because I'm thinking about this stuff, it is quite possible that anyone else that is listening to the music has their own feelings about the music depending on that complexity and those dynamics. And for instance, that for people that pay a lot of attention to lyrics is a big thing. To me, it isn't actually. So keep those things in mind and go out there and write the perfect song. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, I had a lot of fun doing this. It's really cool to do this stuff. So until the next video, bye bye.